Welcome to my Picsart designs. This is my Faux DSLR camera effect portrait. My Picsart Faux DSLR effect is my attempt to recreate a DSLR camera 3D image focusing on the center subject here, where you see me standing in my jacket, nice and crisp and clear, while the background appears back here appears to be distant and out of focus, creating a 3D effect focusing your eye to the subject image. That way the center subject here is nice and clear, background is blurred, so this focuses your eye to the center. Now what I want to do is help you recreate this portrait, and with that said, let's get started. I know life is complicated enough. That's why I keep it simple. I am the one RJ1. Welcome to my channel. Okay, let's get started. We are going to recreate this design using the Picsart program. Now everything that I need is in this folder. I prepared this folder where I placed enough backgrounds that I wanted to use, and everything that I'm going to need to complete this project that I placed in this folder. Now let's go to the Picsart program and let's get started. Now if you have not downloaded Picsart, I highly suggest that you download it. It is a very good program. Alright, I am opening up Picsart. We're going to go down to the plus symbol. And what we want to do is go up to the top where it says all photos. Go up to where it says recent. Then what we'll do is go down to my pre-prepared folder. Now I have a background folder. As you can see, I have a lot of files up here. But what I did to make preparation for this design, I went ahead and placed everything that I needed in one folder in order to get started. So what we want to do now is, as you can see, I went into that folder just to show you where that folder was. But we're going to go back out, go down to the bottom where it says color backgrounds. And what you want to do is just pick the simple plain white background. Go down to the bottom where you see it says tools. Now go to where it says crop. Crop will offer you a wide range of shapes for your background. Now the purpose of this shape is what it does, such as this portrait right here. When I choose portrait, it'll put it into a mode where basically everything will fit within this portrait shape. Okay, let's get started with the background so I can show you exactly what it is I mean. We're going to go down to add photo. Go up to where it says recent, go to that folder. And what we want to do is choose the background that we want, which is this one here. We're going to hit add. Now what I want to do is pinch this screen down some so you can see the entire area. Stretch this background. As you can see, it doesn't quite fit. It's got a little white on the edge, but stretch it out a little bit further. Now you can see as I stretch it out, the image itself will not go past that base area portrait that I set up. And that's, go back down to this. Now that's the way I wanted it, because I want to be into a portrait format. So everything that I place up here will fit within that portrait format. Now once I place the image, the background image in here, I hit the check mark. Now what we want to do is we want to blur this background because we want to put this part out of focus. So what we'll do is go down to effects. Now we'll go down to the bottom and slide it over until you see the word blur. And we're going to use the very first one, the simple blur, not focus on any of the others, just that simple blur. Tap that one. And you tap it again, it'll give you these adjustment tools that you can work with. So how much blur do you want to put into this? Fade. I'm keeping fade at 0, and what we're going to do is take the blur. It was sitting at 15, and what we want to do is take it back to about 10, because I want some of the background to be seen so you can almost tell what it is, but at the same time I want it to be out of focus. Now that we've done that, go up to the top right where you see the check mark and tap that. Now we're finished with that blur background. Now what I want to do is add the PNG image. Go up to the top where it says recent. Well, of course, let me go back. I'm moving fast. Alright, you want to go down to the bottom, tap add photo. Now we're going to add the PNG. Go up to where it says recent, tap that, go down to that very folder that I was talking about that I pre-prepared. Now this is the PNG image. PNG image is basically a portable network graphic image that I've already pre-prepared, where I've taken the background out, where you see it's just the image. There is no background in this. That way when I stretch this out and fit this in the screen, the blurred background will appear to be the background itself. Now we're not quite finished, so what I want to do is I want to add effects or filters to the PNG image itself. Let's go down to where it says effects, go all the way over to where it says colors, and slide this over to contrast. Now you tap contrast again. You can adjust the amount that you want, but I have it preset at 70. I like 70, so we're going to leave it there, and I'm going to hit the check mark. What that did is it brightened the image up some, because the image was sort of kind of dark for this portrait. I wanted it to be a little bit lighter, but right now it still has too much saturation, which I'm saying is too much color in it. I want to take some of the color out. So what I'll do is go back down to effects. Now I'm already in colors, but I want to go over to saturation. Tap saturation again. It's at 70. What I want to do is take this down to maybe 40 or 50. Take it down to 40. That takes some of the color out, and tap the check mark. Now taking some of the color out more fits with the background. The colors kind of blend a little bit better than it was, because it was just a little too much color in this, so I made the adjustments through the effects. Now you see the image that I have is nice, crisp and clear. It has a good color to it, and the image that we were trying to recreate, this is pretty much it. It's just that simple. It's not really a complicated thing to do. As you can see, we just recreated a DSLR camera effect by making an image appear as though it was taken with a camera, with a high-end camera. But we just recreated that with just a simple program. Now you can do the very same thing. All you need is everything that is in that folder. And now that we have completed this image, I want to tap the check mark. Then I want to go up to the top where you see the arrow that's pointing to the right. Tap that. Go down to where it says save. Save that image. Now before you hit done, go back up here to the left where you see the arrow where it takes you back. Now what I want to do is redo this all over again with a different background to show you that you don't necessarily have to use that background. So we're going to go back. We'll go back again. Go back again. As you can see, the curved arrows up in the center, they take you backwards and forwards through your project. Now I'm going back down to the base portrait that I have that I want to fit another background on. So let's go back down to add photo, go up to recent, go down to that folder that's already been pre-prepared. Now what we want to do is choose a different background. I'm going to choose this one that was at the mall. Tap add. Now pinch the screen down some with 2 fingers. Now, as you can see, the mall image doesn't quite fit. So what I want to do is stretch it out and choose an area of the mall that would look good as a blurred background. See, when you have a background, this image is pretty much up to you about exactly where you want it to be. I want more of this side of the mall to be here. And I'll go up to the right, up to the top, tap the check mark. Now what I want to do is blur this image the same way I did before. I'm going to go down to the bottom where you find effects. Now go over to where you see blur, tap that, and tap the very first blur, the simplest one. Tap it again. Now it has a setting of 15. I like the setting of 10, but if you choose 15, that's okay as well. You can adjust how much blur you want to be in that background, but don't set it too high, because The thing about it is you want to be able to kind of make out just slightly what the background is, but at the same time not quite be able to tell what it is, because it'll be sort of out of focus. You want the image in front, which is the PNG cutout image. You want all the focus on that, and put the background and make it kind of blurred, because you're trying to make that 3D effect. Alright, I have my setting on 10. Let's go up to the top, hit the check mark. Now what I want to do is go back to that folder, add photo, go up to where it says recent, go down to that folder, take my PNG image that I have set, add that. Now I'll stretch this image out and fit it. This time, let's say I want to put it over to the right. Now you can make this image as large or as small as you would like, but when you're trying to recreate this camera effect, the image would normally be in the center. Now you can place it off to the side slightly. You say, well, you want the camera to be focused on the head area, so I'm moving it to the right slightly, where it seems like the body would be centered in the middle. Alright, now what I want to do is, before I hit the check mark to finalize that, I want to go down to effects and do the same thing I did before. Go over to colors, go over to the contrast, tap that. That's exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to leave it the amount at 70, and I'm going to hit the check mark. Now what I want to do is take some of that color out that's in there. We're going to go back down to effects and go over to saturation. This time I'm just going to set it at 50. Tap the check mark. Now this gives it a sort of vibrant color to offset that background. Now if I'm satisfied with that, there's no need to put any more filters on it. Just tap the check mark, and now I'm finished with that image. It's just that fast, just that simple, and easy to recreate. It is not that complicated, and as with all things, I want to show you how to keep everything as simple as possible. Now we go up to the top, tap the check mark. Well, let's go back 1 second. Go up to the top, it's not a check mark, it's an arrow that's pointing to the right. That means that we are finished with this image and we're going out to save it. Then we want to go down to the bottom where it says save, tap save, save the image. Now, you can hit done right here. Do not send this to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat right away. What you want to do is hit done, go back out and go to your gallery. And you want to take a look at the image. Let's go back to the Picsart folder, the other particular folder where all of these images are going to appear. It's going to appear in your Picsart folder. Now, tap this image, take a look at this one, take a look at this one. Now you look at the image and say to yourself, well, okay, I'm satisfied with that image, but if I'm not quite satisfied and I'm feeling that I could do a little bit more, a little bit better, what I'll do is go back to the program and use that same folder and tweak it to, you know, my image. Like right now, I have the name down the bottom in the other image, but I don't have it in this one. So what you can do is go right back to Picsart. Go right back to the Picsart program. Tap Picsart, go down there, hit the plus symbol, go to all photos, tap recent. This time you want to go down to the Picsart folder itself, because that's where the images are saved at. Okay, right here where it says Picsart, tap that. Now choose this image. Alright, this is the finished image that you had that's in your Picsart folder. Now all you have to do is go down to text, type in the name that you want to put in, hit the check mark. Now this little blue area with the little black line in it, do not touch that area. What it's going to do is stretch this all out of shape like this. Now what you got to do if that happens, take the name, stretch it out as far as you possibly can until the name comes back straightened out. Now you want to use the little arrow down to the bottom right to stretch this out to the shape that you want. Now what I want to do is go down to the bottom where it says stroke, tap that. What that does is it adds an outline to it. Now you can adjust the outline to whatever number you choose to. I like to set it at about 15. Well, about 15 right there. Now you can go down here and choose another color, whatever color you wish this to be. I'm choosing to leave it at white. Now also, if you want to add a little more depth to the name, you go down to the bottom where you see it says shadow. Now this part you can make all sorts of adjustments to. You can change the color of the shadow. I really wouldn't change the color of the shadow, make it pink or red unless I'm doing sort of a t-shirt or something like that. I just kind of leave it at black, gray, or light kind of gray. Most of the time I want to leave it at black because it's just adding a shadow to the name. But your preference, if you want to add a red shadow or a purple one, let's say if I had a purple theme, that purple shadow would fit very well. Like right now, this sort of color would fit very, very well in this image, but I'm going to leave it at gray. Now that's how you add a text in there. Now you go back over to where you see the font. Now if you don't want this cursive, just move the fonts over until you find the one that you choose. I like the cursive image here. So once I'm finished and I'm satisfied with what it is that I have on the screen, I'll go up to the top, hit that check mark, go in and hit the arrow pointing to the right, go down to the bottom, tap save, and tap save again, and I am done. Now when you want to go and find your images, just go to your gallery and go find your main Picsart folder. Now I know I have several names up here that says Picsart, but just choose the folder that has just plain Picsart in it, which is this one. Now this is the one where I put the name in. This is the one without the name. It's a very simple thing. It's not that complicated. Very, very, very easy to do. Now everything, let me take you back to that folder that I was talking about. Now everything that you need is within this folder. You have several backgrounds to choose from. You have the PNG image, and these are just some extras for a future project that I have. Now it's just that simple. Now that you've seen the whole thing, you can go back through it, watch the video again, and check to see if there's anything you missed or anything you want to study up on, and start working on your own project. And I hope this helps out. I hope it kept it as simple as possible, and good luck on your project. I just have to throw this into the video. The reason that I have pre-prepared PNG images is because there are lots of videos on making one, but because of the time consumption and difficulty that it takes making a good one, you know, anybody can make an average, okay, or even a bad one, but to make a good one, you want to see like around the hairstyles like these. Sometimes you see little white areas and spots in there. It takes a little bit of time to create and clean these up. That's why if I can, most of the time I will try to make one for people, because once you get the PNG cutout image done, the rest is very, very, very simple, and there are so many applications that you can place these in. Anything from like business cards to logos. I mean, it's just so many different applications that you will be able to use this in. And of course, the design factor it's apparent there. I'm trying my best to show people just how many different designs and types of projects that you could do. It's t-shirts to personal logos to stickers, iron-ons. I mean, it's just so many different applications that you could do this. I mean, graduation photos. I mean, you could take one PNG cutout, 50 different backgrounds. Imagine that. You know, and it would only take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops once you get some practice down and you learn how to use a PNG image. You'll be doing projects in no time at all. Hopefully, I want to provide enough designs for you to go by, and you will get used to doing these projects, and after a while you will be on your own, making your own projects. I want to say good luck, and I really wish you well on trying to do this, because this is a passion of mine, and I would love to be able to see people be able to create their own projects and not wait on somebody else to make it for them. And with that said, good luck. And please like, share, and subscribe. I'm hoping that this video helped you and hopefully everyone else that needs to see this. Here's my QR code, quick response code. Screenshot or take a picture, save it, use it, and or share it to get directly to my YouTube page. And last but certainly not least, thanks for watching.